to the Talking the Vote. This is the first political show in Baringo County, brought to you by Baringo News and Ravine News, the leading online media platforms in Baringo. I'm your host, Komen SK. Every weekend, there are political activities as the road to 2022 continues to progress. August 9 elections are fast approaching, and every day you can see people politicking, new aspirants, new people coming into the political scene, wanting to be heard or to contribute to the next, how the next general elections will be done. And here in Baringo, we are not left out. We could see in 2017, about 21 of 30 elected MCAs lost their seats. What would be the situation in 2022? That is the kind of conversation we'll be having. And on Monday and a Friday, this is a show that will be coming to you at 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. every Monday and 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Friday. On Monday, we look at how the events of the weekend panned out and what will be the effect to the events of the coming week. And that is how we'll be doing it. Friday, we'll be projecting or forecasting how things would look like over the weekend in terms of the politics of the day. And today is our inaugural show, and we are glad to have a guest who was the first deputy speaker for Baringo County, that is Mheshimiwa Kiplimo Tanui. He was also elected as the MCA for Ravine ward, where our offices are. And at the end of the day, they say charity begins at home. And we're giving him this platform so that we can know about his life after the loss in 2017. Remember, I said 21 of 30 elected MCAs lost their seats. But how has life been for him? Karibu sana Mheshimiwa.
Asante, thank you very much.
Well, during my research, I could see Tanui, and there was a little mentioned MP. Maybe that's something we also need to know. But first and foremost, who is Kiplimo Tanui?
Douglas Kiplimo Tanui is a humble guy from Ravine, born and brought up in a rural setup, a place called Kabarnet location, Kabarnet village. I am the last born son, or the last born child of the late Honorable Job Kibichi Kibeta Tanui, who was the first MP South Baringo.
The first MP.
The independent MP. I am married. I am a father of 5 children.
5 children.
1 wife. My firstborn is in Form 4.
Wow, pongezi.
My lastborn is in PP1.
Hapo ndio tunashindania kidogo.
As my lastborn is your first.
Yes. And interestingly enough, I could see you're saying we belong to the same age set.
Yes, I am Kipnigeu. A proud Kipnigeu for that, and I know you're also proud.
Yeah.
Initiated in the year 1995 with around 30 pagules, but so many, even you now, you are my pagule because you are Kipnigeu.
Yeah.
Also, I come from, I do not want to forget that, I come from a settlement scheme called Sabatia.
Sabatia settlement scheme.
1 or 2. And why I am saying that is that Sabatia settlement scheme has every son and daughter of Baringo in it. There's a Pokot from Tiati. There's somebody from Baringo North. There's somebody from Sabot. And there's somebody from Tumbaiwa. So you see, it accommodates all Baringo. There's a GMC. There's a family called Lengishele. Who are just here.
Well, you've given us about your background, and I think people got to know about Kiplimo Tanui when the first county assembly of Baringo was inaugurated in 2013.
Yes.
That was in March 4 when election victory was announced.
Yes.
That's when I also got to know who Kiplimo Tanui is.
Yes.
Where have you been after losing your seat as an MCA in 2017, and what have you been up to?
I'm just here. I'm in Ravine. You know, Mike.
Comment.
SK comment. You know, politics is interesting. People choose you, especially for the first time, with a lot of expectation. And to maintain that expectation is not easy. But personally, when I lost, I thanked the people of Eldama that they what. They've made me who I am. And after that, I just went home. I said, I am a farmer, and I am a small-time businessman in Eldama town. And I just managed myself like that. You know, when you lose election, people might think you run desperate. No, the seat belongs to the people. And it is the people who decides to lead them. And if you do not meet their expectation, maybe you'll meet the expectation somewhere else. But I can tell you, SK, you've been seeing me. Actually, they removed the seat. But the mtetezi in me is always there. When the people of Eldama have a problem, and I don't know why, they rarely call the MC, they call me, because me the mtetezi. And I have been up to the expectation.
Well, you say you are the mtetezi, and when there are issues that are affecting the people of Ravine ward, that is a ward that is covering the Eldama Ravine town and its environs. You say they are coming for you, or rather they are coming to you to air their views. Does that mean you've been involved on issues leadership thereafter, or only concentrate na biashara yako kidogo unasema, and a little bit of farming, as you say?
No, I mean full time.
Full time.
Full time. I don't miss church functions. I don't miss functions after if somebody unfortunately passes on. I'm always in the planning and helping to the family, comforting. When a child misses school, I can tell you I still pay school fees today to some children. And there were some that I was helping them. It doesn't mean wakati kiti ilisha, then you abandon them. No, I don't. Even bursaries, I get involved sometimes. I request the city MCA to help a person or two, especially in my heart. I really hate to see a child being sent home for school fees. It's very unfair. There's a girl in Mumbare's girls. I helped her clear school last year because she was struggling, and she is a partial orphan. The father died, and the father was a very great friend of mine.
Well, that sounds like what is happening across the county. Out of the 21, I think about 10 to 15 of them are looking at making a political comeback. Are you also looking at that?
No.
Why?
In my ambition, it's a hard question. In my ambition, I wanted to run for MP. But due to one or two, and due to a candidate who is really a great friend of mine, I wouldn't name him here, and who helped me before, I decided to share my ambition. And I am now in the process of sharpening my axe, so that in the year 2027, God willing,
you make a shot for the MP. We wish you well on that. Now, back to the politics of the day. We see you occasionally being involved in, or rather making statements regarding the national politics, the county politics. But before that, kumekuwa na the registration of the new voters.
Yes.
Were you involved in it, and how has the Ravine really performed vipi? And I think I have the numbers here. We'll go through it together. Then we see how well Ravine performed against the county average, which is 31%, and also what your contribution was, and how do you see these numbers playing part in the 2022 general elections? Maybe you can touch on that.
First of all, I want to say and be honest. My involvement was so minimal. It was so minimal because there were people who were given that responsibility to run the process. But I informed the community. Wherever I was, I told them, please, let us try and vote. Even now, the registration has not ended. We want to inform the people that they can go to the IEBC office and register. But as for the real registration, time was so short.
Time was short.
I would wish IEBC would have been given enough resources to run this thing for around 3 months. And you would find that it would have done way better. Secondly, I never saw our leaders participate, especially those in the seats. I did. You know, it's a mobilization.
It's a mobilization thing. And
if I was an MCA, I would take advantage of this time to look for as many young people as I can
to register as voters.
But you can see there is a lot of apathy in our youth. Apathy. They are not interested. And they have to be educated that bad leaders are chosen by good people who refuse to vote.
And in that sense, this platform, we are giving people an opportunity to discuss about the vote. And the fact that if you have a vote, you have a voice.
Yes.
And having a voice, you still can make an informed decision based on us giving you an opportunity to know who your leaders are. Talking about the leadership involvement in mobilization, we had an interview with Mheshimiwa Kamket, the MP for Tiaty, and it came out candidly that it is through their partnership, the MCAs, the MP, and the many leaders in the region, it is through their working together ndio wakaweza to register an enormous 6,089 voters against the county total amount, which is 23,000. That is almost 40% of the entire new voter registration across the county. So you are right.
Do you know what Mheshimiwa Kamket did? When time for voter registration came, he was hardly out of Tiaty.
Hivyo ndivyo alisema.
Yes, he sat there and mobilized these people. And by registering 6,000 people, that is around 60% of what was the target. You know, the highest the lowest in Baringo is Ravine.
In terms of average, Ravine is registering. Maybe I can give you a breakdown so that as you speak, you can base it on those numbers.
Ravine is around 30%?
No, Endama Ravine is at 26%.
26%?
Which is lower than the county average, which is 31%. Ravine registered 4,563 voters at 26%. Mogotio, 2,756 at 27%. 3,266 Baringo South at 29%, Baringo Central at 25%, having registered 3,090. And finally, Tiaty at 66%, which is way higher, almost double the county average at 6,089. Ravine is among the lowest, the count constituencies with the lowest registration.
700.
And for Ravine ward, which is your former ward, posted 708 voters at 23%, which is the lowest among the 6 wards in Elgeyo Ravine. That's how the numbers look like.
Now this is a disaster. Ravine ward in form of population is almost the highest in the whole constituency.
Yeah.
But now registering 700 people, there's a problem somewhere.
In fact, Ravine ward has a population of 22,269. The highest is Lembus at 25,000. So it is a
so you can see we are at par.
Yeah.
Anyway, all said and done. I want to advise our leaders.
Yeah.
It is not over. they can mobilize these people.
Yeah.
They get them to IBC and they'll be registered.
Well, the IBC had allocated 45 days initially, but running short of budget. We all understand that most government agencies are running on a very low budget, and they were saying maybe if they would be added more money, they would extend the number of days. And we can only hope for that, because some people would also want to transfer their votes. Some would also want to register as new voters. And talking about low voter apathy, I think it is something of concern, and leaders need to show people that it is worth getting a vote. Now, moving on to the leadership involvement. There's a clip we wish to play before we continue. There's a point that you were criticizing the current county government. And maybe before that, or once we play that clip, we can touch base and get to understand why we are seeing more flaws in the new regime. Wewe ulikuwa serikali last time, tunaona shida hapa, and most of these leaders also want to come back, including the first governor for Baringo wanting to come back as a governor. Maybe our producer can ensure that we play that clip, then we continue. But the clip, you were speaking in a function where Mheshimiwa Kiptis was present.
Kiptis akasema sawa.
Kiptis akasema ground iko sawa. He is confident that he's going to make a comeback. Let's see. Let's watch the clip, then we come back.
Magari zinakwama zinamaliza mafuta, alafu mnakuja kusema ati baraka. Pana hata sisi wakati tulikuwa uongozi ilikuwa inanyesha na kimaruba. Kuliango ya barabara ikakatuke mwe ngale choni wewe kama na wewe tulipea wewe kazi. Wewe fanya kazi. Na mimi nakwambia ground imechange. Ili nikuambie kuliko niende niseme fitina. Ukweli uongo. Wakati sisi tuliwacha county si mbaya hivi. Na si hapa tunakuja kudanganya. Hayo ole yake bilimo agotore ti kama nani mama wako ni nusai. Tunakuja kudanganya watu. Araya manatatish. Aya, tamuita kitu. Mungu awabariki.
You've heard it, you've watched it. When was this? This was 2019. Where was it, and why were you telling Mheshimiwa that this ground imebadilika? And why are you seeing more flaws at this time?
You know, SK,
Yeah.
I have made a lot of, I don't want to call enemies, but I would say a lot of opposition because of my always saying the truth. Me, you know, even part of the reason why I lost it because I used to tell the authority the truth. You can remember, even Governor Jeboy, I told him something in the field. And I told him, if we go this way, we are losing. And lastly, we lost.
Yeah.
What happened here is that we were going for a funeral of a leader who was a very senior citizen in my village. Now, tulikwama sana. Tulikwama sana.
Kwa barabara.
Despite that, when I left, the road was passable. What the MCS rose to spoke, MCA not here. And even governor, they are used to saying, wacheni msiongele juu ya mvua baraka. So msiongea hata kama mmekwama nyamazeni. Makiu, they have come with big vehicles. But some of us matope imeingia mpaka kwa makoti. Now I told them, mvua ni baraka. Kwani barabara nzuri sio baraka? Okay. So I told them fanyeni kazi because there is a lot of laxity. They are only coming to do PR barakas, and I told Kiptis, and honestly speaking, I told Kiptis, my friend, we left the county working. we left the county functioning. And you are here telling us, Baraka, and then they are saying, we are crumbling with Kulipa Deni in Kebalwacha. Look at that folly. Come on, if there is a project that is being done, because the budget in the county is program-based, you don't do a project that you don't have money. It's a lie. You do a project that has been budgeted for. So even if you are paying a debt, you are not paying using the money that you budgeted. You are using the money that was budgeted before. That's a folly. They're lying to us. So I told Kiptis, and for now, ile kelele tulipewa sisi, kwa sababu tulipigiwa kelele sana. I promise you, it will be double.
What will be double? The complaints from wananchi?
Sisi tulitolewa bila huruma. Wananchi walikuwa wanasema wacha niingie polling station, sio nichague mtu, nitoe mtu.
So you're predicting a worse situation in 2022 for those who are seeking re-election?
Yes, I am sorry to say, it is a fact. Even this current sitting MCS, you know, they are always banking on campaigning for Ruto. So you see them all the time, they are only talking about Ruto. But when you get to the ground, so you will see it for yourself how it will happen.
Well, those sound like the lessons drawn by Mheshimiwa Kiplimo after his 2017 loss as an MCA for Ravine ward. But in your opinion, what is it that you people did as the leadership, the first county leadership, from 2013 to 2017, that you think that is not happening right now? And what is the relationship between that and why, and the fact that most of these people want to come back?
Planning. When we go to the county assembly, when we go to the county leadership, I tell you, we were 30 elected MCAs, together with governor and deputy governor. There was no CEC. There was no even law that we were still grappling with the law. You know, it was
a new dispensation.
All together. And you know, somebody went to court. We delayed for around 6-7 months before we got nominated MCAs. Thank God, and I really did not come here to campaign for J-Boy, but we will talk about it later. J-Boy had come from a serious office that knew how to work. He had come from Higher Education Loans Board, so he knew how to structure an organization. We spent around 6 months structuring, 8 months. There was no vehicle. Even the governor was using his own vehicle. The assembly, we were using seats that were used by councillors. Even the seat that the governor said was the seat of the clerk of Baringo, Koibate County Council. Now, the staff, the secretaries, we brought them, most of them from Ravine and Kabarnet municipality. It was a difficult thing, but thank God, we are the first county in this country to do a ward fund. And I want to also say, we had a lot of wealth of experience from the then former councillors. We had around 10 former councillors. We had Mandevu ya Osama. We had Cheboiwa.
Mogotio Ward.
We had Mheshimiwa Marehemu Kagadi. We had Jelal from Mogotio. We had Leka Kimon. We had Tamuka. We had so many councillors. So, despite the new dispensation, they knew how to structure a government, and in that regard, councillors from Koibate County Council were the most progressive. I can say that without blinking.
So in so many words, what you're trying to say is the previous regime, you had wealth of experience. That's one. Two,
Yes.
you were able to structure, to lay down structures for the new dispensation,
Yes.
or rather the birth of Baringo County government.
And I can tell you the whole budget was 3 billion. 3. And we were to pay nurses, we were to pay doctors, we were to look for new doctors.
Now, what do you think led, you had mentioned the high expectations, ndio watu wakaenda kuwaondoa kwenye kura from the governor?
Yeah, we are coming there.
Yes.
You know, Komen, if Raya had sat and thought well about the kind of leadership we had, I do not want to forget, in real sense, we were number 3. In real sense. And we were number 1 in fiscal discipline. So you know what fiscal discipline is. But there was a lot of misunderstanding. There was a lot of propaganda.
Rollover.
And do you know what the rollover is now? 47 over 47. When you got here, we were number 47 over 47. When you go to Nandi, 47 over 47. You see, you go to Nakuru County, they were number 47 over 47. Hey, 47 nani little changanya. And then here, and I want to tell you another makosa. And I want to tell these leaders. Ukichaguliwa nani, chungana sana usinone. Hey, you know, like Mheshimiwa Lesonate, hakuna kitu amefanyia Ravine. Hakuna, lakini kitu tu imesaidia hajanona. I'm telling you.
Well, we may not talk about that because it's not here, but you kunona, that's a bit hilarious. What does it mean? Ukichaguliwa na unone, what does that mean to Raila?
Wananchi wanasema huyu tulichagua akaenda kukula tu. Kuna kazi anatufanya. Even if you are doing your best. Even if you are trying your best. Oh, my friend.
Kazi yake ni kukula.
Kazi yake ni kukula. Ona vitu yetu. And I'm telling you that thing. See, I told you my father was the first MP. One of the legacies my father left. And everybody is still talking about is this Sapatia Farmers Cooperative Society. After Siasa, then Mzee came. He was a serious dairy farmers, doing up to 400 liters a day of milk. So in that, wazee wakamuita wakamwambia wewe mzee kuja ukue manager hapa. I have a story from my aunt, my late aunt. She told me one day she was sitting, then his brother was going. So my father was huge. He was a giant. So some guys were there discussing. You know, job amenona hivi. So in politics kunona iko na shida kidogo. And then again, kunona ni shida kwa sababu your health.
It's true.
So those are some of the things. It was a misunderstanding, but I tell you, Komen, including even this skyline, they benefited from us. Where we see, they benefited a lot.
The county government.
Yes, from the first regime of Boy. Actually, even though we were left, we had structured the county in a manner that if somebody had gotten, if we had gotten the right person, because also part of the things that the current regime did, they tried to avoid what the first regime had done. In fact, it is this financial year that now they are starting to see kumbe tungekuwa tunafanya milk. You know, even Chebo is being accused of a Kabarnet study. And I tell you the truth, Kabarnet Stadium was work in progress. Just like this milk plant in Kaburu here. We had budgeted Kabarnet Stadium the first 17 million for a start. Building that thing to completion would take around 100 million. So there was a budget of 17, and this one was a budget of 22 million. Then when we went to the next time we went, we said we would do 30 million.
Yeah.
Hapo ndio ilikwamia. Mtu alikuja kuuliza, mnajenga stadium yenye haina title? Na mtu akiclaim, that's another folly. Even this one in Kericho and in Ravine. It has no title. Even the office of the governor, Baringo, no title.
But things are happening.
So, yes. But in due course, these things will be done. Because there will always be a budget of Baringo. There will always be appropriations. But now, it depends on the person who will be there.
On this platform, we are looking at giving people an opportunity to speak. The vote also gives them an opportunity to exercise their powers and choose their leaders. In your opinion, do you think the 2017 vote, the decision people made in Baringo in 2017 was a flop or a success or just average?
In my honest opinion, the Kenyans of Baringo were a bit unfair to us. And in this Ravine, for instance, we come from a county where we have we produce honey. And there's a saying in Kalenjin that even if you want to remove the bees, don't remove them. That was wrong. You would have even left one of us. So that hata tu akifika ambie ukitaka mheshimiwa kuingia lu unaenda hivi. Na ukitaka kuingia library unaenda hivi na kuna vile tunafanyanga hivi. You know?
So it was a flop.
Institutional memory.
So it was a flop.
It was a flop. Secondly, they elected the governor not because they looked at his capabilities vis-a-vis the other one. No. They only elected because they did not want the other one. So we should avoid that in future.
Yeah.
I can see even also the same fitina 2017, it has come in another form. It has come in another form.
What form is that?
Did you hear what Mheshimiwa Lesonet said in Turkana?
Well, we are coming to that, and maybe I think you're going ahead of me in terms of what we really want to discuss. We have Mheshimiwa Kiplimo here. He's been involved. He's been an MCA. He was retired by his employers, who are the voters of Eldama Ravine ward, and he's here to give us his lessons where he's been. We are discussing the value of the vote. Did we make a mistake in 2017, and what does the future look like? And before we take a break and even play the videos, because we want to look at your involvement in the county politics. Vile umeiguzia, what are your interests in the county politics? Now that you're saying you're not going to vie, but we see you
all over the
yes, we see you all over the place. The other day you were in Bartolimo. This time you're here. Almost every weekend we have to encounter a clip by Kiplimo Tanui, which is making headlines in the county. What are your interests?
SK, first of all, I told you I have been fought by even the heavyweights of this country. You know, after I lost, hata mimi nikajialign, nikaona sasa wacha ningangane Chelugui apate Senate. Kumbe Mungu anapanga hizi vitu. Chelugui akapata position ile sisi sote hatuko, hata yeye hakuwa na expect. And thank God when I remember him. Alipea director like Victoria North. Just to the charging of others, because unajua mimi, wewe, I have not told you. I am a very serious supporter of William Ruto. And William Ruto, in person, is a friend. Nobody from this county goes there without William saying, "How is my friend?" The deputy speaker. Now, when I got there, a conspiracy was hatched to remove us, me and another lady from Kenya. We were, and Kamama, we were given some positions illegally by a very senior member of this county. I won't name him. And when we got there, he sent another guy. Have you ever realized when our senator wants to conspire against you, when something happens, the first person to report is Alexander? So, tukatolewa tu hivyo.
And I think that goes into a clip that we have. You started in Baringo North. You were mentioning how people are appointed today in the morning and in the evening. Wanatolewa. We'll still also look into that. So maybe just go directly. What are your interests? You've given your background. You're a friend to the DP. You're also doing campaigns for him. We also have a clip dating back as far as 2016. So maybe you can tell us about your interests in the politics of Baringo. Then we'll now come back to the county and then to the national level.
I have a very serious interest of becoming the MP and Ravine. That is my interest. And in that, when I was in primary, my head teacher, Isaac Wati, announced that I'll be MP and Ravine one day. That is good. When I was in high school, Form 4, or high school, Barnabas Kitilit announced in the assembly that one day this guy will be an MP. And
Barnabas Kitilit is the chair for Athletics Kenya, Baringo, right?
Yes. He's a very serious Kenyan. In fact, instead of giving people like Derima, drunkards,
the head of state commendation.
Yes. Where are Barnabas? He has made talent. So anyway, so my interest is to become MP one day.
So what we are saying,
by what I am doing now, is we want to put the right leadership in this county, so that by the time we are getting there, we will be having a super county.
Well, he wants to be the MP for Ravine in future, and he's mentioning 2027. So should you be eyeing that city within that time, then Kiplimo will be your competitor when that time comes. Well, we'll take a break, a commercial break, then we'll come back. During the commercial break also, we'll also play a clip by Kiplimo in one of the funerals in Baringo North. He was accusing Kanu for putting the people of Baringo County at loggerheads, in that one person is appointed today to a parastatal directorship position, and in the evening they are fired. We will play that, and once we come back, we'll dwell on that as we continue with the show. Stay tuned.
Mwisho nimeona Mheshimiwa Gladwell. Na Mheshimiwa Gladwell, nashukuru sana umekuja hapa. I really want to make an appeal to you and that area you are taking care of. Kwa nini sisi watu wa Baringo director anaandikwa asubuhi, alafu saa 8 anafutwa, unaleta mtoto mwingine wa nyumba hii? Kwa nini mnatupiganisha? Kutoka huko tiati tunapigana, kutoka kwa directorship tunapigana, na shida yote ni nyinyi mshindwe. Mwisho nimeona Mheshimiwa Gladwell. Na Mheshimiwa Gladwell,
tumesahau.
Gladwell. Na Mheshimiwa Gladwell, nashukuru sana umekuja hapa. I really want to make an appeal to you and that area you are taking care of. Kwa nini sisi watu wa Baringo director anaandikwa asubuhi, alafu saa 8 anafutwa, unaleta mtoto mwingine wa nyumba hii? Kwa nini mnatupiganisha? Kutoka huko TRT tunapigana, kutoka kwa directorship tunapigana, na shida yote ni nyinyi mshindwe. Mwisho
You've watched that clip. Mheshimiwa Kiplimo was speaking in a funeral in Baringo North, and he was accusing Kanu for firing people inappropriately or
actually misusing power.
Well, you're claiming that they are misusing powers. Maybe you can give us details about that speech.
When Chelugui was appointed the minister for water, Chelugui really helped the people of Baringo. You know, during Moi's time, there are only 45 directors from Kalenjin nation all over Rift Valley. Chelugui in the water ministry and the other few, he managed to secure 26 from Baringo alone.
26 directors from Baringo.
Yes. Not mentioning the other areas. And he managed also, like me and director Joan. Joan is from Uasin Gishu. But you know, funny enough, all those directors are at home now, including me.
They were fired
because we have not aligned ourselves with Kanu. That is the only reason. Because I had to, not at the, because at Ueze Kazi. When I went to Lake Victoria North, I was the chair of audit committee. Go look for the audit chief manager audit. He told me he has never seen such a serious case. Because I would look for briefing, I would see, I would look for it, I would work on the work given to me and the briefing given by the chief manager. I would present reports to the committee. Baga Dr. Julius Kones anapiga makofi. Funny enough, the likes of Francisca Kamuren, the likes of Augustus Chepkuru, Vincent
Kemoso.
Yes. Just because they don't subscribe to Gideon's School of Politics. You know, I grew up. Mimi ni mtoto wa Nyayo. Wewe unakumbuka watoto ya Nyayo?
Hata mimi nikunywa maziwa.
Na tulikuwa tunaimba kabisa sisi ni watoto ya Nyayo.
Tunaingia.
Moi, as being said, was a dictator. But it's a lie. Moi loved us from his heart. We chose Gideon because of the love we have for Moi. But so he is proving to be an outright dictator. You know, Kamama was appointed in the morning by Chelugui to the NSSF board. But because Gideon does not like him, He removed him 6 in the evening.
His appointment was revoked.
It was revoked.
But it was still under the same name. It is Mheshimiwa CS for Water appointing, and in the evening, Mheshimiwa CS for Water revoking appointment.
It is the OP. It's the OP.
Office of the President.
By the directions of Gideon.
So are you trying to say that Gideon Moi and Kanu is a powerful political...
Very powerful as of now. Have you seen the letters they are distributing?
Which letters are those?
There are some letters distributing. I don't know. Alexander puts in his timeline every now and then.
What letters?
Saying we are empowering children. I don't know what they are. But that
are they giving out jobs? Maybe you can shed light on
yes, something like that. But I don't know which can, because even yesterday she said that lady who has been in the market in Kabarnet, you will not see her anymore. Because anaimba Kanu.
Anapewa kazi.
Yes. So hata mimi leo ningetaka nikuwe director Lake Victoria North once again.
Wimbe Kanu.
Nianza tu kupiga magoti nisema Gideon no. Then in the evening you will see my letter.
And now on that, I would be asking you, do you think this is sustainable, and do you think it is the correct way of doing things?
It's wrong. If I was Gideon, since he is close to the president, very close, closer than William Ruto, when Chelwe appoints one to show us his power, let them appoint 2. Others not revoke the other one. So let me tell you the story about Kaptere. You know, in Kaptere, the last time I saw Gladwell, and Gladwell should not pretend that he doesn't.
Gladwell is a women rep for Baringo County.
Was when I was MC. She was looking for the seat. We met in Kabemoy, a house from a lady called Rosemary. Rosemary is my relative. She is my mom's cousin. And we talked a lot with Gladwell. And I saw her. By the way, Gladwell is a very intelligent lady. To say the truth. To say the least. When we met, she told me if there's somebody I do not want in this country, it's William Ruto. We differed from that day. Mimi ukisema mbaya juu ya William Ruto, unfortunately tuna differ. Good enough, Gladwell was chosen to be our women rep, women MP. I clapped my hands. I said, that lady will come. So the next time we met with Gladwell was in Kaptere. And I really want to apologize. I don't harass women. I don't go harassing women. I actually sent Gladwell. I did not attack her. If there was an attack I was making, it was Kanu. I didn't tell Gladwell Mushindwe. What made this thing go ewala is Gladwell's response. Gladwell responded to me in a very madara way, you know, telling me, Gotoigi mnyige win, mimi sitaki maneno ya mnyige, na makiu the firstborn ya Gladwell anaitwa Gladwell, mtoto ya mnyige, mtoto yetu. Kama mimi ningekuwa circumcised Baringo North, ningekuwa kimnyige, ningekuwa nini, ningekuwa Kabarnet. But here in Koibatek, we are a bit ahead in age set.
Well, I'm looking at this clip.
So let me finish. Let me finish comment. So when Gladwell responded, she said something rather distasteful by telling me, "Twende nyuma ya tent."
Mukutane nyuma ya tent.
Alafu to roll. So it was a bit distasteful because we are in a function where the old people, young people.
And I think that was echoed by Mheshimiwa Cheptumo.
Now, that one iked Cheptumo. Because Cheptumo also is feeling the pain. He's feeling the pain over brother-in-law of Cheptumo being removed, not because he is not competent. Only because he's a brother-in-law of Cheptumo.
Well, outside that, I'm looking at this clip on the perspective of your role in the county politics and also the national politics.
Yes.
You step in a function, you speak, and it makes news. And you've clearly stated your interest that in 2027 you're looking at being the MP for Ravine. That one is given, or rather it is clear. Back to the same conversation about your involvement in the politics. We've also seen you support some candidates, attack some candidates. You've also criticized the current regime, and we've even played that clip where you're telling the governor you need to improve on the roads. You've said the previous regime, you tried your best to put structures in place, but the people decided that we are sweeping the house clean, which you also feel it was wrong. But now, with this upward trend and even your involvement in the county politics, where do you see yourself immediately after 2022?
Thank you. Very good question. First of all, why my sentiments make headlines is because I say it as it is. That is me. That is Kublima for you. Where I see myself is I live in a place called Mesegon. Yeah, I live in Baringo is the entire place, but where I live is Mesegon. I see myself in Mesegon after campaigning for Cheboy and actually trying my best to make Cheboy win. I'm not campaigning for him so that he gives me a job. No. I only want this county to prosper. And as I've told you, we put the right leaders, we will go and sit and work for the people. Not fitina easy kidogo. Pana, you know, Governor Cheboy, don't think the people were fools who were Don't imagine the people were fools. They had their concerns too. And one of the greatest concerns of why Cheboy lost was not because he did not perform. People surrounding him.
People surrounding him. The deep state.
Yes. He had a very serious deep state where even as an MCA, you could go and raise some concern. By the way, when I was in Kabarnet, everybody, when I got to Kabarnet, everybody knew I was in Kabarnet. One day, checks the ambassador, and every MCA was complaining. Now, I went to the education office. I found the guy who was dealing with the checks is not here. And I asked the lady to help me. The lady just looked at me and she continued doing her work. I asked her, where is the guy? Unfortunately, that guy passed on. I'm sorry. But he used to have a drink even at 9 in the morning. So, I brought the whole education office to a standstill. I ran mad. And are you aware by that evening all checks were signed?
So there was some level of laxity and sabotage.
Yes. And by 4 p.m., police were looking for me. You've gone to the education office and caused chaos. But when I went there, I put my foot down. I said, the last check I will take is for Ravine ward. The last check.
Let the rest be sorted.
But start with those, and I am giving you 24 hours. And people worked. That is me. So even now, many people might think I am going to Baringo North, I am going to campaign for Mheshimiwa Cheboy so that I get a job. I am not that desperate, my friend. In fact, if there is somebody I should campaign with all my strength, is Chelogoi. If he wants this, because Chelogoi, true to his word, appointed me. But now, I think for now, Cheboy is the thing. And I tell you, SK, you move around. You are a journalist. Wewe unasikia vile ground inatetemeka. Ikingojea tu Cheboy arudi. So, in that, I want to tell you, my involvement in this politics. My involvement in this politics is not so that I see myself tomorrow as a CC, as a CEO, as a director, or as a what? No, or as a nominated MCA. Let me tell you, if I wanted to vie for Ravine Ward MCA today, I'll not even a shilling.
You're sure you'll get it?
Go to the market. Every single day, let me tell you, SK, every single day, there's somewhere I sit there. There's somewhere I sit even when sometimes when we talk, I am there, Karibuna Market.
I've found you there severally.
Every day, not less than 10 people are asking me. Elders have come to my home, but I have a philosophy. When I left MCA, I went away with my hat. My hat with a seat of MCA. My hat with a seat of MCA. Ilikwisha. And I do not want to vie for a seat. Yenye roho yangu haiko sitafanya kazi. Sasa ni roho yangu wanego kwa MP. Hata na wapeanga I dream being an MP.
Well, that is you and 2022, beyond 2022, and we have very little time remaining. And before we wrap up, maybe we can play a clip. You've been campaigning for William Ruto since 2016. There's a clip that you really came to his defense, and there's another one which you campaigned for him sometime in 2018, I think.
Yes.
So many of them. Your campaigns are surrounding a governor, and the national politics, county national politics.
Yes.
Maybe you can give us an overview of why you're doing this. You've said you'll be in Baringo at the end of 2022, but could that really be true? Let's see. Watch the clip, then we continue after watching that clip. Yeah.
Deputy President, amekuwa Deputy President of this country. Moi was Deputy President for 13 years before he became President for 24 years. Sasa hata sisi kama Watuge, we should be fair to other communities. And the next person in line now is His Excellency Honorable William Kiptitir Samoei Arap Ruto, and we will support him until he becomes president. Then after 2032, Gideon sasa akuje na hii panganga yake. Ndio tuone tutamfanyia nini.
Mahali mimi natoka Eldama Ravine, tuko cosmopolitan. Na mimi nataka kuongea juu ya kabila moja ambaye kila mtu anaongea juu yake, inaitwa Kikuyu. Enda ambia rais wa Kikuyu ni wazuri na watapigia William Ruto kura. Waache urongo yao. Wote tuko pamoja kama vile tulikuwa. Sijui tu nini iko kwa hao wakubwa. Sijui wanagorogeana nini. Lakini hapa chini tuko imara. Ambia William asunguke Kenya vile anasunguka. Ambia William aombe kura vile anaomba. Lakini watunge wimbo wasitunge, William atakuwa rais ya Kenya, rais ya 5 kwa majaliwa ya Mwenyezi Mungu 2022. Alafu sasa naomba wajumbe wetu wa hapa Baringo, not Baringo, wa Rift Valley, wakati tunaenda kuwinda, kuna group 3 ya wawindaji. Kuna wenye wanatafuta mnyama, kuna wenye wanaua mnyama, na kuna wenye wanafuata mnyama ili wachinje wachukue nyumbani. Ni group gani mumewekana? Pana kani kama tuko confused, tukae kama kitu kimoja. Vile rais mstaafu Moi alitufunza tuwe kitu kimoja, tupenda amani, lakini tukue pamoja nyuma ya William Ruto. Wacha ni kusumbua seneta yangu kudanganya ati atakuwa rais. Au hizi sisi tunajua, wacha ni kusumbua. Huyo mtu ni mfanyabiashara. Onesha mahali gold iko ataenda. Onesha mahali ruby siko ataenda. Onesha yeye hata ng'ombe atafuata.
Lakini hapana ambia yeye uongozi, acha kudanganya Gideon bwana. Hata mimi nasikia mbaya. Mahali mimi natoka.
Well, you've watched that clip and you can see Kiplimo is highly involved in county and national politics. And of concern is not really the clip. My concern is about the current political situation in the country. We've seen issues, political intolerance. We could even see a cartoon by one of the leading media houses in Kenya drawing, or rather, a cartoon
praising actually
an
violence.
Illustration. We may not should really say praising, but it was illustrating a situation where William Ruto and one of his communications persons, that is the Dennis Itumbi,
and a wheelbarrow,
using a wheelbarrow to shield themselves from being hit by stones. We've also seen an array of incidences in Baringo. There's a wheelbarrow which was erected by one of the aspirants, or is it one of the MPs in Baringo South, MP aspirants in Baringo South being cut down, brought down, and it was burnt. Kabarnet, the same thing happened. What can you say about these trends as a person who is highly involved in campaigns for presidency ahead of 2022?
First of all, I want to thank the people of Uasin Gishu. When Raila Amolo Odinga went there, they showed him how Kenyans behave, even if they don't support you. I really want to echo the people of Uasin Gishu. Secondly, I want to condemn with the strongest terms possible. First of all, what happened in Kondele, but not so much of what happened in Kondele. The response by the authorities. By actually legitimizing violence, walikuwa wanagawa pesa, ndio wakapigania pesa. No. Even if there is money involved in politics, it comes a day before or a day after.
For mobilization.
Yes, for mobilization or whatever the case. You cannot go to a crowd of 100,000 people and start dishing money. How? So, I want to ask this government. After 2007, we've learned our lessons. And we want to see part of what really happened should not happen. And it will happen if the police start now giving the quack reasons, fake reasons. They have to protect William Ruto. And as you can see, I don't know why, but you will start by seeing William Ruto is a target for these people. Up to date, as Kiplimo, you will never convince me why William Ruto had to go to heaven. You will never. And when William Ruto came back, we held a prayer in Kabarnet. I was still the deputy speaker. And I told William Ruto, William, forgive all those people that did you, that fixed you, but don't forget their names, not their names.
Why?
The same people after 2017 general election are the same script is played. He was pushed out of Jubilee. They have tried, if not for this constitution, they have tried to remove the deputy president. They are here, they are all over.
Do you think they're the same names who are playing the same game? Or rather a similar game of trying to push him out of the political landscape of Kenya?
Who gave the letter to Kofi Annan? Let us not even go there. You know when they hold a meeting in somewhere in the Machakos or Kitui or Makweni, instead of telling people what they want to do to them, they start talking about William Ruto and his man. Let's compare three people. Let us compare Raila Odinga, Gideon Moi, and William Ruto. Can William Ruto's money even get close to those? They cannot. Mark you, this is money inherited. And this is money worked for. I was sold chicken, dog. So it is old money competing with new money, as paraphrased by the speaker of Nyeri County Assembly. So why I am involved? I have a lot of passion for William Ruto, and definitely I can tell you for free. If William Ruto becomes the president of this country, you will see better transformation than Kibaki. I want to tell you now why I am being involved in county. I am involved in county politics because county has resources, and unlike the MP seat, MP is more of representation and lawmaking and budget making for the country. But the seat of governor is executive seat, and we want somebody who can plan the resources well. Also, national government is the cake. The cake is big, and in that, if the national government one day would consider me to be something, so
that sounds like you're also hoping to be involved in the leadership of the country in due course. At the end of the day, they say politics is about interest. You cannot be sowing a seed that you don't expect to harvest. Well, you've given your thoughts on William Ruto's presidency, and you think that he would be the president. But something that you may not have come out clearly is on your opinion about the intolerance. Do you think we can surpass this intolerance ahead of 2022? And what can we do to avoid chaos ahead of the elections in 2022 general elections?
Despite the Ulabalu, I want first of all this government to be responsible. The government should be responsible in making sure that these rallies are well protected by the police.
Provide security?
They provide security. And if an incident like that, when that happened in Kondele happened, the police should swing into action, because we would see even a guy who works for the county government, we would see an MC who are involved. They should be summoned, and if there is no evidence enough to face the law, they should be at least warned, not to bring you to corrupt. You know, these people, you listen to them when I say my and you make your own decision.
We are seeing it in the media. The other day when students in secondary school started fires, it spread like bushfire. News item after news item after another one. Then there were some MPs who were opining that they should be given a media blackout. We should not cover those incidences. Now we have election chaos, intolerance, political intolerance. MPs want the media to give school unrest blackout, and on this other side, we wish to be seeing how a candidate is being received in a given place with full glare of the media. What do you think needs to happen? Is that the best way, giving blackout?
No.
So what do you think should be the best way to curb these continuous or unexpected and unfortunate situations during campaigns?
Let me tell you. First of all, Magoy is mismanaging the education sector. Okay, let's talk about this intolerance. The best way to deal with intolerance is for the authorities to work on it. For instance, the police said in Kondele incident that they had a prior the previous day.
They had intelligence that there would be chaos.
Was it hard for the police to get into the middle of that meeting, deploy security, enough security, and then make sure only nobody picks us to? That is easy. When it comes to politicians, they should not politicize this intolerance. They should condemn. Even the school banning. Why would you put it a media blackout? The school should gather also intelligence. Let me tell you, I have a hero as a principal. The principal of Baringo High School. Let me tell you.
The current or
the current. Since time immemorial, my elder sisters were in Baringo High School. All the time. My wife attended Baringo High School. All the time, they used to ban that school. But since this principal came in around 2015 there has not been a single incident.
Strike.
What does he do? What does he do? We should ask ourselves. What does he do? So there are schools that does not do the incidences because the principal has the school clear.
So in short, we need to learn from the environment.
And you know, yes, and you know why even this intolerance is coming now. You know, out of schools, those people who are striking in schools, banning, are the same people who are throwing stones.
Okay, it is a societal problem.
Yes, and one thing I will say, I have seen somewhere say, spare the rod,
spoil the child.
Corporal punishment should be returned to schools. Human right. No. Even me, my children, whenever they go wrong, I cane them.
You discipline them.
I discipline them. And whenever I discipline my child, you will never see that incident again.
I'm not sure how that would go with the authorities. Maybe.
I don't mind. Mimi hata mtoto yangu akikuja aniambie mwalimu alinichapa kidogo. I normally tell that child, thank you. Nataka kununulia soda huyo mwalimu. That child akifika shule hawezi rudia makosa juu hawezi pigwa bila makosa.
Well,
anyway,
those are your thoughts, and I think you've come out clearly on how the police and the authorities need to handle the political chaos.
And also their contestants. If you are aspiring for a seat, let us always try and sell our agenda and not sell propaganda.
Well, fair enough. Our time has really gone. We are 10 minutes past our scheduled time, and we've had a conversation with Mheshimiwa Kiplimo. It is all about his time outside politics, and he's making a comeback. You've heard for yourself, and maybe based on his thoughts, we've also gotten a few lessons on what a vote means to the people. And this is a platform where we discuss about the vote. Hapa ndio tunaongelea kura. Na kura ndio ilikuweka kwenye kiti na ikakutoa pia as a speaker and as a member of county assembly.
Yes.
And maybe the only difference between what you are discussing in Kaptere and that of the vote is that you're accusing an individual, but this one, it is a masses that were making a decision. And from us here, we are giving you a platform where your opinion would always count. You will get a platform to get to be heard. You will get a platform to have your voice to count in the coming elections. And for every week, we'll be having an array of guests who will be coming here to give their views on the vote. And we'll also get to drill down into what is happening and what would be happening over the weekend. But before we leave, there's an incident that happened last weekend, and we could see a number of MCAs and even yourself responding to. One of the governor aspirants, Mheshimiwa Lesonet, said that the county assembly of Baringo is misusing money in foreign trips to a tune of 700 million. You came out so strongly to deny that it's not happening that way. We could also see the MCA for Mochongoi Ward, Kiputo Kimosop, responding to him. And Lesonet was using a figurative language that watapaka kinyesi cha ng'ombe kwenye matiti ya ng'ombe ndio ndama ambao ni MCAs wasinyonye.
Alafu
kiyuete lemotin. That was his language. You've been a deputy speaker. Is it true that the county assembly of Baringo has a budget of 700 million for foreign trips alone?
You know, listen.
And does a governor have the capacity to keep the budget for a county assembly?
You know, Lesonet wants the cow equated so that he comes and unwet and starts nyonyering.
Well, I don't know if people will understand that. Maybe you can put it in similar language.
You know, SK.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa Lesonet is vying for governorship. He should concentrate on government. Why is he not told by MCS?
Ndio nauliza swali. Does a governor do governors have the capacity to control the budget for the county assembly?
Yes, fair enough.
They do.
No. Let me tell you. Let me explain something here. Are you aware that the county assembly of Baringo is anchored in the constitution? County assembly number 30.
It is.
The only way, and the 700 million Lesonet is saying, first of all, is, I told you, if a leader is insincere, don't vote, please.
I'm asking two things here.
Listen.
Does a governor have the capacity to control the budget for the county assembly?
Absolutely no.
Now we've answered. They don't have the capacity.
Yes.
Number two, does Baringo County government have a budget of up to 700 million for foreign
travel?
trips?
Yes.
Is it yes
the budget?
Or no?
The budget for Baringo County Assembly travel is 10 billion.
10 million.
10 million. 10 million. Sorry. Local is around 6.5.
So the remaining
foreign is 3.5.
So that makes 10 million.
That makes 10 million. By Lesonet saying this, he's trying to incite the public against the leadership.
So by saying no to the question of whether a governor has the capacity to control the budget for assembly, and also saying that the budget is 10 million and not 700 million as it is said.
Yes.
So that justifies your point of saying some aspirants are insincere.
Yes, that is insincere.
Well, thank you. That is what we wanted to really clarify. And that is your opinion because you responded to one Mheshimiwa Lesonet in one of the forums.
Yes. I want to add this. An assembly budget, the Commission of Revenue Allocation sets a ceiling. The ceiling, they say on travel, you should not surpass it.
And that is 10 million.
Yes. On fuel, they can even say you should not surpass 15 million. But when they come to budget, the budget has to balance. Yes. You cannot afford. So they say, well, this year, let us do 7. They set a ceiling for the county assembly. I want to tell you an incident where we almost impeached J-Boy. SRC allowed us to take a loan. There was no money. J-Boy refused. He said, no, not this financial year. We almost impeached him, including my club, who was his general. What I want to advise, Honorable Lesonet, when you are going for campaign, don't campaign on the basis of talking about others. Campaign on the basis of talking about yourself. If you start even asking an aspirant who has not even won the seat, that SK weomba kuwa MCA, lakini unajua ukinikuta nikiwa governor, hakuna kitu nitakupea, nitakata hiyo pesa. Now you are forming an opinion.
Well, we are also giving you an opportunity to give an opinion, and I think you've given the perspective, which we believe it is a correct perspective because you've been a deputy speaker before, and you know how the county assembly runs. Well, there are so many former MCAs like yourself who are trying to make a political comeback, including your favorite candidate for governor, Mheshimiwa Cheboy.
Yes.
What are the chances of these people coming back? Maybe we can list a few of them. Kabarnet ward, we have Mheshimiwa Cheboy who wants to come back. Kapropita, Mheshimiwa Solomon Chemjor Sochiga, he wants to come back. Marigat, we have Nanga, he wants to come back. Ravine, do we have people making a comeback? There is Mheshimiwa Munge, who was then the youngest MCA in Kenya, apart from being the youngest in Baringo. They want to make a comeback. Do you think these people have a chance? You said there would be a mass vote out this time, but do you think these people who want to make a comeback would make a comeback really to the county assembly and to the various positions that they are eyeing?
Actually, I might not know, but I can tell you for free. We will not miss 1 or 2 from Ravine going back. The former, the first. From Baringo South, we will not miss 1 or 2.
MPs?
For MPs.
I can see Moita, the former, is trying his hand in Baringo Central.
To be honest, I am
can
not
just
so
generalize
keen on
MPs.
But we will not miss 1 or 2, even also MPs.
So for
but
MCs,
for governor, that one I can tell you. I can tell you, if things goes the way they are now, if things go the way they are, have you heard something called Heritage Boy? You know, when you say Heritage Boy, you have finished everything, because you are telling people, okay, we have seen you guys, but for now, Heritage Boy. You know, have you heard that thing? So, I tell you, Cheboy is coming back very strongly, not because of anything else. It is because of the structures he placed the other time. And after that, when he left,
so
they saw.
Do you think people will be voting on the basis of what people can do, or the same emotion of wanting Kiplimo out?
No. They will not do that. Let me tell you one thing again. Let me talk about Kiptis. You know Kiptis ni mtu roho safi sana. Sasa kupanga tu ndio imekuwa challenge kidogo kwa. Kupanga tu. Lakini Kiptis as a person, people are not as angry at Kiptis the way they were to Cheboy. Kiptis will not, he might not get the humiliation Cheboy was humiliated. But I want to tell you, people are now realizing that they sent home the right guy, and people are development conscious for now. Whenever we go, wacha nikwambie, let me tell you something very funny. So many people are telling Governor Cheboy, especially from Ravine around here, Governor, sisi tumeamua wewe utarudi, lakini tunaomba saa zile unatembea wacha Kiplimo nyumbani. Kiplimo anakuharibia kura. What does that say? They have endorsed him, and they like him, and they are now shaping him, because they are now starting to see maybe hii ni broka ingine kama ile mabroka ya zamani. So you see, that's an indicator. We have done opinion polls. We've done one scientific, and we have been doing, even there's a poll weekend. Cheboy was leading at around 38-40% vis-a-vis the second candidate. I don't even remember who it was, with 21-22.
Well, to finalize our conversation, because it's a platform where we are discussing the vote, do you think the people of Baringo will use their vote to make a wise, informed decision come 2022? Do you think we are wiser now, unlike 2017?
Yeah, we are. But we are in the sense that, you know, Baringo has made a decision, and I don't think somebody will reverse about the presidency. In fact, when you get these people, they are no longer talking about the president. The real elephant in the house now, not even so much of governorship. The only person mwenye anajaribu kuchafua mambo ya governorship ni Lesonate na maneno yake, but Lesonate hiyo ni kazi yake. But the real elephant is in the MP seats. MP seats. Hata ukiangalia the way, hata ukiangalia Eldamaravi, there's a very serious contest between Sirma and Halima. You can see it's a very serious contest. When you get there now, it is Dawa, Mas, and Moita.
That is Baringo Central.
Baringo Central. They are now. When you get to Baringo North, you will get a guy called Penga and Maglap. And you know, Cheptumo, it's not clear whether he is defending his seat or he is going for Senate. And also, if Cheptumo goes for Senate, it would be a very big contest between him and Tochi.
What about the entry of Bishop Emeritus Jackson Kosgei? on
Is
Senate.
Bishop contesting?
He declared the other day on his official Facebook page.
Oh, I haven't seen. So I don't. Now we give it a month or two, then you will see how it, you know. Now I'm talking about these people who are in the city.
Okay.
When you get also to Baringo South, which is your constituency, there's a very serious contest between Taurus and Kabarnet. Very serious one. You get to Baringo, Tiati. Now happened your maneno. You will see Kifumbi between Kamama and Kamuket.
And there was a new party which Kamama is one of their leaders in the party.
Coops.
The Kenya United, is it party?
Party of Kenya.
KUP. It was launched the other day in Kapenguria, West Pokot. So do you think Kamama is going to make a comeback?
Yes.
And all these are about comebacks. Sambili, does she have
Yes. Yes. There's a very serious contest. Now Sambili has not declared and she has not said the party. But she will be seriously challenging to take. She will be seriously challenging to take. I want to talk about these coups. You know, there's a very serious contest between in Ravine, between and Sirma and Kalema. And if I was, especially these third party candidates, now now this is a now this Lima Sirma is becoming serious. If there's somebody who is clever enough, Angi Yakups.
Chama cha Lonyangapu.
Yes. If Sirma wins, the person at the end will challenge Sirma very seriously.
So are you trying to say Ravine will produce a non-UDA MP?
No.
But you're saying...
But it will be, well, you don't know how William Ruto works. You know, if you win, if you win by 20,000, and your runner-up gets 16,000, you have won. But William Ruto will not forget you, the loser, the runner-up.
Okay.
Especially if I was a woman candidate, I would go that direction so that I get nominated either National Assembly or Senate.
So that is how the politics of Baringo would pan out, and the opinions that we are getting are from Mheshimiwa Kiplimo Tanu, who is the former speaker and the first speaker for Baringo County, and also the MCA, the first MCA for Ravine Ward. It is our first show on the Talking the Vote. We are discussing about how the vote would count in the decision making towards the election, the general elections in 2022. We've run through where he has been, what he has been up to, what his aspirations are, and that will be the format during these shows. An array of candidates, professionals, opinion leaders, and even political commentators will have an opportunity to sit on this bench where we will discuss how the vote will count ahead of 2022. And to you, Kiplimo, maybe you can give your final remarks as we close.
I want to thank you for bringing me in as the first interviewee. I really want to appreciate what you guys are doing in this Baringo. You are also shaping up Baringo politics.
Asante.
Lastly, I want to ask people of Baringo, let us do a fair campaign, a peaceful campaign. At the end of the day, all these people who will win the seats are our children.
Yeah.
And all what we want as the public is development and empowerment.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Karibu sana. Thank you to you, the viewers who've been sitting and watching this conversation from wherever you are. We've not been able to read your comments, but because it is a subsequent kind of a conversation, we'll be referring to what you're saying on the comment section. 1 hour has been a very short time, and expect as electric as it would be during that these conversations will be. aspirants, sitting MCA, sitting governor, sitting senator, and anybody who would be interested to give their opinion on what the vote would mean ahead of 2022. I have been your host, Komen SK. See you on Friday.